Hello and welcome.
Yes, what she said. Hello and welcome.
Hello, all my Tier Champs players.
Yeah, okay, so in the interest of not confusing the listener or the viewer any further, I am joined today on commentary by...
Me!
Yes, by you.
Yes, by me, Strumpf.
Yes, and we are commentating the League G Championship Finals between Taamas, I don't know, and GaryOfPgh2, or possibly GaryOfPgh2. I think we'll go with PGH though.
Yes,
And-
I have gathered intelligence about the players.
Oh,
So Taamas is a first-time League player. So started in G tier and won his division, their division. I'm sorry. And GaryOfPgh2 is a League veteran who has already played in 30 seasons.
30.
Yeah, usually in E and F tier. And that's all the intelligence that I gathered. Ta-da!
30 is a lot. I'm
Yes.
trying to remember how many I've played in. It's not like a ton more than 30, I don't think.
They started in League 37, so...
Wait, 37? That can't be 30 seasons. We're not in season 67. 20 seasons?
Oh, I was sure it said 30, but you're
Wait,
right.
Yeah, we're about to start season 60. I probably should have put, this is season
59.
59 League G Championship Finals. There we go.
Yeah,
Also, do you know what the format of this is? I was assuming it's...
Of course I do. I'm the tournament organizer.
I would hope so.
So this is first to 3.5.
First to 3.5. All right, so my results page is accurate. Let's go. I'm already off to a great start.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about this board before this
Fine.
gets too far away from us.
Fine. Okay. Can I start and then you...
Yes.
Okay. So, I wish someone would hit the start button.
That would be helpful, yes.
Because I feel like 2-5 would be very nice here. I guess, I don't know, with like governor, I never know if like that is too centralizing or if you can do like a double church opening here and work your way down. I guess, yeah, on 3-4 I would do double church and on 2-5 I would do governor, town crier, probably. Okay, now you.
Okay, so I think I would probably prefer a 3-4 on this board. I definitely would not open governor. If I would open with any 5, it would be guildmaster. Plateau shepherds could be reasonably relevant here with candlestick maker and town crier, but mostly I just don't. I mean, I guess you could open jester too. Mostly I don't really want any of the 5s in the opening. I want to thin, and I think that means double church or church exorcist or something like that. I don't... Let's see. Ultimately, there's not much in the way of villages here. So I guess one thing you could consider is trying to draw like some more with apothecary, but that really does not synergize well with governor at all, and that is ultimately what I think you want to be doing. So probably you just have to go for townsfolk based draw with like elder blacksmith, and then maybe you can also like, I guess you could take an herb gatherer, rotate, and eventually get to like civil, but that's, I don't know, that's really slow. You have to play herb gatherer 3 times if your opponent isn't helping you. I don't like herb gatherer.
But is it worth getting here to get to some reasonable draw?
Maybe.
Is there like
not in the opening, for sure. Not in the opening.
Yeah, not in the opening. Is there like a reasonable like vassal thing here? Can you like trash down enough?
I don't think so, because the problem is that you, like, governor cares a lot about what's in your hand, and well, not to mention that Governor is going to gain silvers and golds into your deck, and Vassal doesn't play well with those. And because there's such limited terminal space,
do you mind turning on the animations?
They should be on. I think it's yeah, animations are on. I think it's just it may be that I didn't have the window focused because I was playing with OBS.
Oh, okay. Well, so both got Town Criers. And then we have Exorcist and Church.
Yeah.
So many Town Criers.
I don't understand opening Town Crier unless you're going for Plateau Shepherd stuff, or you have a 2/5. I mean, it's not bad. I just think I would rather have Church and Exorcist, or Church and Church. Probably Church Exorcist. I think like getting Wisps should be good. Wisps are going to draw some here, and then if you get Imps, you can't play with that many Imps, but you can play with a couple Imps and have that work out, I think.
So here do we gain a Blacksmith? Trash Copper.
I think Blacksmiths are pretty valuable here.
Second Church. Well, Taamas doesn't have a single church, so. Or were you talking about Gary's next turn, Knave? Yeah. Yeah. Or maybe you draw. I'm not. Have we seen?
I haven't paid attention to the shuffles, but I think
I already have seen 2 estates, so this could be 1 estate.
I think it's probably pretty important to get some Blacksmiths. Like, draw to X does actually have some synergy with Governor. When Governor's played for non-draw, it decreases hand size, especially if it's played for remodel. And there's just limited draw on the board, so I do want the Blacksmiths. I mean, even if you're playing Blacksmith for, like, if you play Elder Blacksmith for, like, +2 cards, +1 action, +1 card, it's still, like, that's still good. And of course, Elder itself makes, like, plays into the, like, draw up to 6 mode as well. Jester.
Oh, Jester, no.
Yeah, I mean, as the 1 terminal in your deck, it's probably, like, fine, but I don't want it now or anywhere close to now. Oh, there is Barracks. I missed that there's Barracks on this board. Okay, that makes me all the more interested in Blacksmith, I think.
Yeah.
Because you can play 1 Blacksmith without needing to play an Elder and still do draw to X.
Do we set aside Estate Copper and then gain Blacksmith? Or Second Church?
I think we... Well, I guess, yeah, if you're gonna play the Town Crier for +2 coins, sure. Yeah, I mean, hitting 3 seems good. Hitting 2, oh, gaining silver, no, I don't like gaining silver. Governor will give you all the silvers you want and more on this board. I mean, there is a point in theory where you could gain silvers to feed Exorcist to gain Imps, but I don't think in practice that should actually really come up. In response to you want treasures with Governor, I mean, you don't really, though. Like, you want as few treasures as you can possibly have to make the thing work. But you don't want, like, you don't want to deck stuff full of treasures. I mean, to be fair, as few treasures as possible to make the whole thing work is not, like, that few, but... Yeah, right, for endgame. But then, like, that means along the way you're trying to have few treasures in your deck, and so that shouldn't be too much of an issue for Blacksmith draw. I mean, I should be clear, like, it's not... If you get 2 Blacksmiths and you're drawing with those, that's not like a draw to X deck. That's not enough draw to X to make it a draw to X deck, but it's a deck that can take advantage of draw to X. Like, Church plays into this as well, right? You can set aside some cards of Church and then draw with the Blacksmith. Candlestick Maker, I guess, although I don't know if you actually want Candlestick Maker.
Governor?
I mean, if you're gonna buy a 5, Governor is the 5 to buy, especially if you're not going for anti-shepherd stuff, which, I mean, it doesn't look like either of them are particularly doing.
Would you buy Governor over Blacksmith?
Well, the fact that they're not competing for the blacksmiths makes it not necessarily urgent to get blacksmith, but
Wow. Huh.
I guess at this point in the game, I probably would not buy Governor over blacksmith, although, you know, you really want to hit barracks to, like, until you get elders into your deck, you really want to have barracks before the blacksmiths are super useful.
This could be a barracks buy.
It could. I think I would take barracks as soon as I could here, just to, like, have the, like, you've got the Town Criers in your deck, right? Like, you can play those sort of non-terminally.
I'm so baffled that no one's interested in Blacksmith.
Yeah. Well, that's one. But I don't understand these silver gains. It's just clogging up your deck. In theory, you have a governor and you can remodel them into governors, but ideally you do that with the silvers that you get from your opponent's governor. Although, in fairness, your opponent doesn't have a governor yet. Still, would rather just not have silvers. I actually would also, well, if there weren't blacksmiths to gain, and if I had 2 churches, okay. There's a point here where I would be considering Herb Gatherer. It's not while the blacksmiths are still there, and it's not while I have only one church in my deck, but there's a point where I would consider Herb Gatherer.
I felt like in the Prosperity 2E mixes, Herb Gatherer was pretty sometimes.
That was not my experience. I did play a game where I ended up with like a couple Sibyls in my deck, but that was my opponent got the Herb Gatherer. I can see why it would, in theory, be though, like good Kingdom Treasures. Oh no, 2 Jesters.
Oh well.
I mean, I don't agree with taking the 2 Jesters, but also that is pretty unlikely to have them collide.
You could trash an estate for Blacksmith or Church.
Trashing estate into Blacksmith or Church looks really good, yeah.
Go.
Can trash a Jester into a gold. I mean, that's true.
It's true.
I don't think it's as good as trashing an estate.
And then buy barracks.
Well, it doesn't go into your hand.
Turn this turn around.
It doesn't go into your hand.
It's funny, yes, it is. That's accurate. Okay. What do here? Oh, we're still waiting for Taamas. Okay.
Yeah. Please don't take a silver off of this.
Or an Herb Gatherer?
I would rather have Herb Gatherer than silver. Just because, like, it gives me the ability to eventually add the draw cards. I mean, I don't want the Herb Gatherer for them, but I would rather have it than the silver.
Yay.
Okay, Church is good, yeah.
Ooh.
Rip Blacksmiths.
Oh, because they have one and Taamas does.
You know, I didn't even think about Elder Governor.
Elder Governor is pretty neat.
Yeah. That is pretty neat. It's probably generally still better to...
Why didn't we trash the Jester?
and get a ghost?
Yeah.
Hey, that's plus actions too. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
You can get so many ghosts. You could have so many plus actions.
Let's get Governor.
I'm sure that would be super efficient.
Just get the Governor.
Sure, I guess. Well, I don't know. I want to set aside cards, especially going into the shuffle. And they're going to take a Miller, yeah. Miller's alright. It's, I don't know. I mean, I'd rather just be thin, but whatever.
Wah! Trash Copper, get Elder, get Wisp.
Oh, they definitely want the Elders. Both players, I mean, or so it seems to me.
Yeah.
Elder is an exciting card, I will grant. It's not... I don't think it's like super strong here, despite the governor interaction. I think it's like worth getting, but I don't think it's like game changing.
As Gary, would you trash Silver into Elder and then draw up with Blacksmith, hoping to hit 5 again?
Maybe. I haven't been deck tracking. I'd feel a lot better about it if I had barracks, but looks like that's what they're doing. Okay.
I mean, I'm also between level E and F, so it seems like Gary and I think alike. Although I would have opened differently, but wait, but they did not. Oh, they bought barracks.
Take a state here to trash.
Shouldn't they have taken the last Elder though? I feel like that would have been better. You can buy barracks another turn.
You gotta hit 6. I don't know.
But if you have 3 Elders, no, you're not. You're not.
I don't know. I don't know how important that is. It could be. Elder Jester. Okay, sure. Getting barracks like lets your deck do more stuff more quickly than getting another Elder does.
Okay, I'm still for like play Elder, get barracks, trash
the Jester
into Ghost.
I don't. Why did they not take the estate? I thought they were going to take the estate to trash with the Exorcist. Oh, good, a third church.
Okay, but then get barracks and an imp.
Yeah, sure.
Or whatever else, but just get an imp.
I do think you want barracks, like especially when you're the person with 2 Jesters in your deck.
Yes. I mean, I'd also be scared.
Of what?
Losing the Elder Split.
Oh.
Well, pow! Amazing.
Governor spam deck. I'm not quite sure what that means. I mean,
just get all the governors.
You do want... It's hard to win a governor game if you don't have at least like 4 or 5 governors, but like you have to... Usually you have to do something other than just get the governors. I mean, I think it's fair to wonder whether the players should have more governors in their deck at this point in the game. But you do need to get thin. Like, if you end up playing your governors to draw cards, and you're drawing cards for your opponent, like it doesn't tend to go super well for you unless it's like near the end of the game and you're just closing it out.
Trash Silver into Governor by Blacksmith. Trash Copper.
Sure. Not much longer until your prediction is proven correct.
Mm-hmm.
3 blacksmiths left. You just give in and use governors for your draw instead of trying the townsfolk spirit stuff. I wouldn't. I mean, it's not to say I would never play governor for draw, but I would not want to be like, governor is my draw. I think that's bad here.
Yeah, I feel like with barracks especially, it's nice to just draw with the townsfolk. Elder.
Well, Miller might save it.
Might.
We're drawing. Yeah, I guess governor might save it too. Although Elder Town Crier is not the most exciting thing.
Wow, why are we drawing so?
Yeah, I'm not really clear on that. Are we trashing the silver here? Or another copper?
I mean, could we double governor?
Given that you don't hit... Okay. Okay, Governor Blacksmith. Yeah, that's pretty good.
You should definitely trash a church. I take the imp.
I don't know if I would trash church over copper.
You can set the copper aside.
You can set the church aside.
It's true.
And then trash it the next turn if you don't have enough having a need for it. But yeah, church is indeed a better governor remodel target. Although I don't know how many governors does Taamas even have.
At most 1.
Yeah, I think that's right. Very thin deck with governor, golden church.
How to get there?
How do you? You still need to draw. Like, it could work out to have. Well, I think the sequencing doesn't really work. Like, if you have 1 Elder Blacksmith pair.
What is happening? Oh no. Okay, well, they're playing it the way I would play it. But shouldn't you have set aside Elder and like definitely Elder and
unless you're planning to buy province, yes.
Oof.
Which you should not be planning to do.
Don't do it.
If you buy province here, you are gonna get there's no way you're beating the deck with several governors in it. Anyway, I'm trying to think of how to answer the question about very thin deck with governor, golden church. And the thing is, it seems like, okay, you can draw maybe if you have like 1 Elder Blacksmith pair, you church a bunch of stuff, but then like the next turn you start with that stuff in hand.
Hi, Mario.
And if you're doing governor for remodel stuff, then like how do you get those cards back into your hand to set aside with church? I don't think it really works without either going ahead and playing governor for draw or having 2nd Elder Blacksmith pair or something.
Ooh.
Okay, so they bought a governor. Yeah, they really should have set up the Elder aside. Given that they only spent 5 coins.
Find that Elder. Yay! Do you set the coppers aside? And then...
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even if you want to trash the coppers, well, like church can do that. Oh, no. know. I mean, they do have barracks, but I still think like you can get another action, right? If you play this with Elder. Oh, yeah, I don't like that play. Like you would have 2 actions right now instead of 1 action.
Yeah, it's not like we need 2 actions right now.
Well, you might. I mean, depending on. I guess if you're not going to draw with the Town Crier, then you don't. But
so that's another governor.
But then, like, what we got out of playing the governor was we put a gold into our deck, and I'm not sure we actually want to be doing that yet.
Why the Guildmaster?
I have no idea.
Tell me. You have to tell me.
I mean, okay, so how many imps and how many Town Criers they have? They probably have 2 Town Criers. I think they have the Candlestick Maker. I hope they've trashed all their estates by now. Yes, they have.
Yeah.
So they have at least 3 cards that are applicable and maybe some imps. Although it looks like Taamas has all the imps, all 2 of them. So yeah, not very exciting. I would not have taken that Guildmaster. I mean, governors should just better always at this point in the game.
Ooh. Well.
Church the Jester, trash the estate by barracks. Unless you know what's on top of your opponent's deck and you want a copy of it.
Do we know what is on top of opponent's deck?
You only do one thing with Elder Governor.
It might be a governor.
They? Wait. Oh, I didn't even... Yeah, I don't think I've ever declined to do a second thing with Elder, but they did. They just did trash.
Oh.
That's very surprising.
Yes.
Turn the silver into Miller. Over trashing a copper. I don't know if I agree.
I wanted the ghost too. Yeah. But I guess we can't have nice things in this game.
I think I would rather, as Gary, I would rather keep the silver and turn that into a governor than turn it into a Miller.
Oh no. Well, I guess it makes more sense for Taamas to have the Guildmaster.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I mean, I feel like you need to draw again because this turn is pretty overwhelming otherwise. Okay, well, copper to Candlestick Maker, what?
Miller to governor?
Miller to governor sounds good. But as Gary, I don't understand copper to Candlestick Maker over like silver to governor.
No. Ooh, they declined.
That, it seems like a mistake to me. At the very least, you do silver to Miller. Like.
Yeah, I agree, Naive. I also think it's like you need to get rid of the coppers.
Yeah, but Candlestick Maker is also bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better, but it's not good. And like, you have church and exorcist to trash coppers. You don't need to do it with governor. Oh my gosh. Candlestick Maker is points if you get Guildmaster and play it and get favors.
Is that why they?
I guess it
got
could
the
be
Guildmaster?
Well, yeah, if they were planning to do that. But yeah, I think that should pretty comfortably lose to governor stuff, although the opponent doesn't have very many governors.
Oh,
so...
why didn't we just like Candlestick Maker or Guildmaster? No.
Huh?
And leave that blacksmith up there. Don't we want to keep our blacksmiths on? Well, they have 3 blacksmiths?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, okay.
That would have
been a pretty nice
Candlestick Maker again.
Pretty nice draw though. 2 blacksmiths and governor for next turn.
Yeah, well, the second blacksmith in hand doesn't really do very much without an elder or something. But
here we go.
Okay.
Governor. Well, got a governor now.
I mean, what?
No, that can't be correct.
Yeah,
that might be the case.
Yeah, it's got to be like an interface, like an issue with them understanding the interface or something, because certainly by the rules you are allowed to pick 2 things.
Yes.
Yeah, I would go double governor here. I mean, is there any risk that? Oh wait, no. That's only 2 piles. Yeah, there's no pile out risk here. So yeah, double governor.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've actually played with Elder Governor before, so I didn't actually know how the interface worked.
But have you played with Elder and other like non?
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember the. Yeah, I guess you do. You do.
Surely you played like
click them
Elder
both.
Town or something.
Elder Town, you just get. Do you not just get them?
No, you have to.
Feels like you should. Well, I guess you might
No,
not
you have
want
to
draw
select
the card.
because yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I might have. I don't remember. Oh wow. Okay. I was not expecting the commerce. That I would be happier with that if we hadn't already gained some golds. Like here and on previous turns here. Yeah, I just feel like it's too much gold. I mean, if they had a few more governors in their deck, I would feel like, it's fine because they can just play governor for draw, governor for draw, governor for draw, governor for draw, and then into a bunch of provinces and just win. But I mean, then I still think they're winning, but I just think that the gold ratio in their deck is too high with that commerce.
Wait, what did Gary do? Why does Gary have so much points? Oh, because of the shepherds. Yeah.
Yeah. Sad. So.
Oh.
I'm wondering if that could have been ordered in such a way as to
draw more cards.
Well, the wisp in particular, could they have guaranteed that? Maybe not. Okay, yeah, probably not. Oh no, we have to elder the town crier. Much sad. Still no barracks either. What are we gonna do with all these terminals?
Okay, so church, imp, jester.
Church, guildmaster, silver, and exercise. No,
yes, we want ghosts. We want ghosts.
I mean, I don't. Well, I think it's probably too late for anything in particular that they're doing. Why are we not playing the other church?
Maybe we want to trash them. Trash it. Maybe we want to double province here.
I mean, I don't really think there should be a line for Taamas to win in this game at this point. Just because Gary has so many governors. It should be pretty trivial for if like Gary just takes a couple more governors this turn and Taamas manages to double province again somehow, then it should be pretty trivial for Gary to just be like, okay, here's 4 provinces and a duchy in the following turn.
Well, let's see.
Oh, they won't even need the duchy because of the plateau shepherds. In fact, they can afford to lose the province split 5-3 and just take a duchy. I don't know. I have to do the math.
So this is 4 of their 6 governors. You just continue drawing here?
No, I think...
I mean, they have a lot of good draw cards and their elder is still coming up.
Yeah, but I think, like, honestly, taking 3 provinces here is definitely not crazy, because their opponent definitely can't triple province. And then they can just probably win next turn.
Well, if they draw.
Well, they should have... They have 2 elders and 2 blacksmiths, right? 3 blacksmiths.
And 2 governors.
Right. Yeah, I think they're pretty likely to draw. I mean, I don't think this...
They have 4 candlestick makers, though. 4 candlestick makers and a guildmaster.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, this is not the line I would have taken as them. I would have drawn at least 1 more time, I guess. Or, like, before they started trashing. I guess maybe I was responding to the wrong question from you. Once they trashed like 1 province, and there was no reason to like draw on. But
yeah,
there's some sense in remodeling a little before drawing. I like in the generic case, yes, but I don't think in this case, because you just want to have like your opponent's ability to respond to the remodels is not that important relative to your own knowledge of like what you're capable of doing at the moment. Anyway, they actually have a pretty good, like, well, good is too strong. They have a pretty decent starting hand here with the Elder Governor. They can like draw and then remodel into province.
Yeah.
And all that.
All that jazz.
All that jazz. I don't think Taamas even has a gold in their deck. So they can't remodel, like they can't do governor remodel into province.
Because they refuse to remodel Jester into gold.
Technically upgrade, right?
Yes.
Reaction. I like to call it a reaction trash, even though it doesn't actually involve a reaction. Well, we got Elder Blacksmith, but
yeah.
Oh wait, no, don't play the Elder now. Just play like Candlestick Maker or something.
In church.
Well, yeah. Yeah, or you want to play the church before you play the blacksmith is the point, and you... Oh, no.
Well, they will buy...
I guess they didn't need the
provinces.
draw. I guess they didn't need the draw somehow.
No.
But they also don't have the actions. Like, if they had played Elder... Well, no, I guess there's no way you actually get plus actions out of Elder here. Unfortunate.
A guildmaster. Fresh jester into ghost. It's very important.
There will definitely be time for that to pay off.
Well, it's just for me, okay? To feel good about this game. My personal enjoyment.
Imagine if there was a ghost in this hand instead of a jester. What would that...
Well, maybe just like 5 turns.
Why would that
earlier.
matter now? It would have mattered at some point.
It would make me happy.
It would. I don't think it would do something because I think... Well, I guess you could assume that Taamas will not lower the provinces. If Taamas lowers the provinces, the game is going to end. So if they don't lower the provinces, the game might end anyway. So...
They might province duchy.
Given a dud. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, province duchy is roughly what I'm expecting. Okay. Oh, they already had a bunch of favorites. Okay. So they'd already capped out their Plateau Shepherd's points, presumably. 2 imps, 3 imps.
Oh, so if you buy...
Oh, no. They can get one more.
They get more, yeah.
Yeah, they get one more. And the Exorcist will generate 1 as well. And then they will be over. They'll have more favors than 2 costs. Chester to imp.
Ooh, that makes sense.
That does give an extra 2 points. Okay, well, whatever. I mean...
There's a ghost! They're not gonna take it. I can't take it. I can't.
Do they want 2 points or do they want a ghost? They won't get to play.
I mean, but imagine.
2 points.
Okay, fine. Fine. Okay, here we go. Gary, you got this. Ta-da!
Wait, why did we not elder that governor?
Unclear. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
Come on.
Probably doesn't.
Come on. Gary, you got this. It's in your hand.
Well, yeah.
It's in hand.
It certainly shouldn't matter.
In hand. Gary.
It would have already been over if we had eldered the first governor.
Yes, yes. It's
Fortunately,
okay. It's okay. We have it.
This hand has enough points.
Ooh. Taamas putting up a fight. Okay, so you see, like, at this point, I would just end the game because I have it.
That is, yeah, well, yeah. I would too. For reference, Taamas has played Jester 7 times and from that gained a church and gave Gary 3 coppers. That's really bad.
Aww.
I know they at one point they turned over Elder when Elders were empty, but I didn't particularly notice the other Jester plays. Didn't seem important.
Come on, Gary.
Gotta maximize rudeness. That's the goal in Dominion, right?
Okay, first game goes to GaryOfPgh2 as player 2. So that's a nice position for them.
I'm gonna say that Gary is... I guess I should do it this way if Gary started as player 2. Okay, that's what we're doing.
Yes.
I don't know, maybe I should just take that part off entirely. I don't remember what I've normally done when I... Maybe just do this.
Okay.
It's very important to get this correct.
It is, yes. Yes.
This is a very professional operation that we're running over here.
Yeah, it's the professionalist operation. For sure. Clickety click 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 click. Click it. I'm talking to Taamas.
I can tell.
Go, go, go.
Yeah.
Hit that button. Maybe they're playing on an iPad or something, where everything takes very long.
Does it?
Yes.
I've never played
like
that games on
in
iPad.
general on a tablet. Ah, yeah. Yeah. Okay. So,
what do you think?
What do I think? Well,
I think it's start button.
Yes. The trashing is pretty bad. So I guess we want magpies, and I guess we want militias. Those are my thoughts. If we have a 5-2, I would open militia. If we have a 3-4, I would open militia. Ooh, if we have a 4-3, I would open militia march, I guess.
Don't spoil it.
What?
Mario.
Oh, Mario. Oh, right, there's a coffer. Oh, I forgot about the coffer. Ooh. Okay. But is the march... Well, I guess...
March doesn't have plus buy on it, so it's not really... I don't think it makes sense to think about March very much in the opening. That is true, but I don't like Baron.
Neva's here for the style. the
March,
stylish play.
Now, if March did have plus buy, what you would actually do is you would open Jack March, and then you would get to it would have to have the Villa effect. Never mind. Okay, whatever. I'm opening Militia Magpie here. Unless you have a 5-2, in which case I cry, I think, is the strategy.
Yeah, I know the crying strategy.
Yeah. Marauder, I think, is a bad card, and yeah.
I don't actually think this is going to be a Marauder March, though, is it?
Oh, I sure hope not.
Or I guess there's no reason for me to not think that, though. Well,
Marauder potentially helps your opponent get more magpies, and then also you can trash the ruins into silvers, which is more than you can do with your coppers. So, yeah, I'm not about it. I do also want to get a Jack. I said I would open Militia Magpie, but I do also want to get a Jack. I guess maybe if my opponent opens Jack, then I don't take Militia and I just take Jack. I don't know. That's an interesting question.
Okay, but at least Gary could take a Militia. No, wait. Who has the Jack? Taamas.
Yeah.
Militia.
Yeah, there is actually reasonable-ish support here for Jack to be decent draw in general between the militia, the festival, but ultimately I want to just draw with Magpie advisor.
I want all the magpies.
I do too, but it's buying Magpie is not so appealing. Your opponent doesn't have a Jack, so I think I would just buy Militia. I mean, ultimately, I don't think Jack is much of a counter to Militia here because it's going to be hard to line stuff up, and you're more likely to like play a bunch of magpies and then you see your jack and it's like, well, okay, I increased my hand size anyway, so it didn't matter.
What did they get? Advisor.
Advisor is reasonable. You do want them. I would not probably be buying Baker yet. I mean, it's fine. If I had to buy a 5, I'd probably buy one festival over Baker, but also like I would want to make sure I had like all of the 4s that I wanted. So like I have a militia, I have a jack, I have a at least one magpie, which I think, you know, they do, but
militia, go, go, go. Oh wait, no, they both have.
They do.
Ah. Whee! All the burbs.
Everyone's talking about the burb. Well, the burb. The burb is the verb.
More singing. I'm like a burb, I only fly away.
Festival? Well, they still don't have militia, but
it's nothing we
to
can
take
do
a second
about
Baker.
this.
Yeah, so we have Marauder and Jack in our
I
deck.
think Gary has the other Baker. I think both of them have a Baker now.
Oh, that may yeah. That probably is true. But the thing is, like, they do have a couple of terminals in their deck, the Marauder and the Jack. And granted, you're not that likely to line them up. Well, there is also Ruins. Like, you might want to play the Ruins. You're not really saving up to spike anything either with the Baker tokens.
What do you mean? All the enclaves that I want to buy.
I mean, you jest, but I do want to buy Enclave on this board. Not now, but I do want to buy it. The other thing is, like, the plus buy is potentially relevant, especially if you're putting spoils into your deck and you know your magpies are potentially going to draw you a bunch of money unexpectedly and that sort of thing. Maybe they just don't want villages. Harbor Village would also be reasonable from that perspective, of course. I wouldn't want a ton of festivals.
Why do we top deck that copper?
I have no idea.
Okay. Well, I lost track of the magpie split. Yeah, I assume so. What is it with the Bakers?
I don't know.
Okay, I think Gary very solidly won the magpie split.
This game is actually heading pretty quickly towards a 3-pile.
Yes. Which is good for Gary.
You mean because they haven't trashed with Jack? Or...
They bake. Thanks, Mayo.
I would think that having not trashed is also going to hurt Gary with respect to hitting price points for victory cards, but yeah, Survivors, good job. I would discard that. Copper bad. Or maybe the better way to say it would be copper is worse than Baker is good.
So, what to do here?
Buy
Of
more
course.
Bakers.
When in doubt,
Oh,
buy
I don't
Baker.
know.
Should Gary just buy Enclave?
I think I would buy an Enclave, yeah, because the piles are low enough. Like, getting the points lead is nice, and I don't really want a province on my deck at this point.
Ooh. Card Advisor. What?
Yeah, I know. I think that might be correct. Well, okay, it wasn't, but you know, the decks are bad enough that the extra plus card from Advisor is frequently not going to be better than the Baker. We got a Ruin trashed.
Don't buy another Baker.
This is only the third card trashed this game.
Don't do it. Don't do it! They didn't listen to me.
They did not.
So rude.
So inconsiderate.
Yes. Hello.
March. I mean, marching Marauder here, if they can, and I haven't paid attention to whether they can, but seems pretty good. It doesn't look like they can.
No.
Well, then I don't really think there's much reason to march. If they had Militia.
By the last Baker.
But they have a Jack down there. No. That's a good call. If they had Jack.
Don't. No.
Oh, but they don't have a Jack at all.
No.
Right.
Taamas has the Jack.
Yeah.
They have to buy the last Baker. It's very obvious.
I think, if anything, you want to leave the Baker there as bait for your opponent. Right? Like, so that they don't suddenly realize, wait, there's 2 piles empty, now I gotta score points. Like, give them another turn of being misdirected. Oh, well. March Baker to get a copper. Convert 3 coins to a copper. It's just as good as Pageant. All right. Surely this is going to be either Province or Enclave.
Province has to be better. What?
I don't know that I agree.
Ooh, right.
There's nobody. It's not like the ruins are going to end that well. Oh, they do have a festival. And does anybody have a ruin market?
Almost over.
Yeah. Does anybody have a ruin market?
It was very close.
I mean, I would not lower the ruins any further here.
No.
Scary. You might even need to buy a duchy, honestly.
I think so.
Although your opponent does not have a festival. No ruin market. Okay. Then you probably don't need to buy a duchy here, but it might still be a good idea. Oh, no, don't do that. Don't do that. That's don't do that. You I mean, I could.
Wow.
Okay. Now
definitely take Province.
Now you buy Province.
Go.
Yeah, you totally buy Province. You try to punish that pile lowering. Like, there is a world where that worked out for, well, no, not even. There's no draw that Gary could have this turn that would allow them to, like, march their Marauder and get the last ruin. Yeah, that ruin buy was really bad. Really bad, in my opinion.
Whew. Okay, so Gary, we need to salvage this situation.
Yeah. Well, fortunately for Gary, they're going to be able to afford Province.
Yeah.
And store up some coffers while they're at it. Yeah. So that's pretty good. Okay, now Taamas really needs to not play this Marauder at this point.
I have a feeling. Abandon mine.
I mean, you just
go.
Do you have to play Abandon Mine? I guess you do.
Yeah, for the duchy.
Yeah, that's sad. Ruined Village and Jack. I mean, yeah, but That's definitely not guaranteed. You do get the spy effect. I don't know. I mean, it would certainly, if it worked out, it would certainly be preferable, but... Oh, wait. Buying Duchy here, with 3 coffers, that's pretty rough. Forgot that the other day, they don't even take the lead with that.
Ooh, and here we are.
That's game. Alright, so it worked out to lower the ruins there for Gary. I still don't like the play. They had like only a 1 in 5-ish chance to see the Marauder that soon in their shuffle.
It was definitely a little bit scary, yeah.
And they did have to like they potentially had to draw through the ruin too.
So 2-2.
2-0.
2-0, yes.
Yeah,
yes,
it for sure did. Opponent took way too many bakers. Should have taken a couple of festivals. You don't need a ton, but having a couple, good.
Yes, Gary. Go, go. Okay.
I would like to see somebody skip Marauder there so that we could see Marauder lose, but...
Okay, so... if we have...
Oh my gosh, Blockade Silk Merchant.
Do you...
Sorry, I shouldn't have said anything.
No, it's fine. Do you demand if you have 2-5? Or do you...
Yes.
Okay. So on 3-4, that would be... Amulet Blockade?
Yes.
Because
you can, even if you have Terminal Collision, you can blockade Silk Merchant to get a villager and play the amulet.
Yeah.
Or you can play Way of the Mule.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All set. Please click the start game button now. Thank you.
No!
Name.
Why would you say such things? Why would you say
Be
that?
nice.
I mean, Silk Merchant, just opening with Silk Merchant is completely reasonable, and I wouldn't blame anybody for doing it. But yeah, but you don't need to hit 5.
When you want to demand.
Yeah, sure. You know. I mean, it is, I will say that there is some awkwardness on this board because the plus actions only comes from like double activated Paddock and from Silk Merchant villagers. I would expect the Silk Merchants to run, but that still doesn't double activate the Paddock. So, you know, it's going to be a little tricky.
Yay! Taamas, go, go, go. Go get that Silk Merchant. Go. Go, go, go.
You get Silk Merchant, and you get a coffer, and you can buy another amulet, which is pretty nice.
2 amulets.
Yeah, gotta get thin. I mean, I guess you don't have to. You could just play with Archive instead. I mean, what I really want to figure out here is, how am I double activating Paddocks if I am? Maybe that's too ambitious. Maybe it doesn't happen, but I would really like for it to happen. I mean, I guess what you can do is just trash all of your Silk Merchants and then get Tragic Heroes. But you can't blockade them, so it's not as fast. So Gary bottom decked Silk Merchant.
Oh, do we get to the second? Whee! Both of them.
They both got second amulet, yeah.
Amazing.
So as Taamas here, you can demand or you can pick up a 5.
You could demand a blockade.
I don't know about that. The terminal space gets to be really tight at that point.
That's true. So what were you thinking?
I'm not sure. It's a tricky build. I mean, you can always play stuff as Mule, but I still think, well, yeah, maybe you do demand blockade. Yeah, I could see it. I could see it. At the very least, I think I like demand something over taking any of the 5s right now. Because if you demand the blockade, you can blockade Silk Merchant, and you have you have the villager. You demand Silk Merchant, you get the villager. But if you just take a 5, you don't have any villagers, and that's kind of unfortunate. Yeah, exactly. You also do need some plus buy though, which means you either need to not trash all your silks, or you need to get some tragic heroes.
Demand, wee.
Okay.
All right. This is just a silk merchant. Oh, they should probably get a blockade.
Yeah. They must have messed up their amulet there. What? No. No, you gotta get rid of it. You gotta get rid of the estates.
Aw.
And getting a horse is like trashing the estate for one shuffle. Kind of. Not really, but kind of. 8 silk. Maybe play
Mule,
silk,
silk.
Yeah, probably play that first. Yeah.
Blockade silk, demand silk.
You could. You certainly could.
Or demand a second blockade.
Also reasonable. If you demand the second blockade and your opponent isn't willing to take the curses, like you can kind of shut down, or you can kind of
shut them out.
Yeah, shut them out of the Silk Merchant pile, which is really strong. So I do actually like demand blockade here.
The evil panda plan.
It is pretty evil.
What else are we thinking? Ooh.
Not that. Not that. Pilgrim is a card I expect to never take on this board. I'd rather have Archive, I'd rather have Tragic Hero, I'd rather have Paddock. I'd rather demand.
Trash.
There's no reason not to trash here. It doesn't... Getting to 8 doesn't do anything.
Well, you could buy 2 estates.
No.
And a duplicate. Duplicate.
I would rather have Duplicate in this deck than Pilgrim.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh,
yes, see? Nave understands me.
Oh no.
What's it gonna be?
I would just demand blockade, but wow. Oh my gosh. Wait,
Nave,
third amulet?
what did you do?
Third amulet? What? What is
happening?
What does a third amulet do?
Maybe they want to trash all the merchants.
Yeah, but they don't have that many silk merchants, and
I accept no responsibility for this duplicate.
The duplicate doesn't confuse me nearly as much as the amulet. I mean, I don't think it's good. I'd rather have blockade, but yeah, undo, play silk merchant as Mule, and then trash. Yes, yes. That way your blockade doesn't miss the shuffle. Although, I mean, you would get some coppers out of the shuffle, but...
Why didn't we demand?
I don't know. Paying a coffer to get a horse on top seems...
Now get 2 amulets. Sure. What? Oh, no!
Yeah, that does not look good. It does not look good.
Do we trash Silk Merchant? We do.
Should
we have trashed Silk Merchant?
Unclear.
Why did we not play the Silk Merchant? I am very confused.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I think you want to draw into your blockade and your other amulet. And that's one of the reasons I maybe don't trash Silk. Although on the other hand, trashing Silk also helps with it. Yeah, I probably would trash Silk there. Alright, bought a paddock already. I think it's a little early for that.
Too soon.
Yeah, I would have rather demanded another Silk Merchant or a blockade. Well, I mean, I guess not blockade because they had the blockade coming up.
Demand blockade. It's not too late. Maybe it is too late.
I think
probably too late.
Yeah. My question is, do you demand Silk or do you just buy another paddock?
I
mean,
what
or
happened?
buy nothing? Why do we not want to spend our coffers?
Because they're precious.
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 They've been called that before, but not by you.
Okay, what are we duplicating?
Nothing. I don't know. I don't think
Paddocks.
I don't really understand.
What do they have in
the
their
game
pockets?
plan for Gary here?
Ooh.
Double archive.
Oh, what is that draw? Amazing. It's a paddock. Can see it.
This is... Oh, top deck the amulet? Oh, I don't like that.
I would have top deck Silk Merchant.
Yeah. I want to play the amulet this turn.
What?
Like, we have so much...
What just happened? Why?
Wait, yeah, why?
No. You want those horses?
Yes, you do. I want to top deck a Silk Merchant, play one Silk Merchant. Well, actually, oh, the order's all wrong.
Actually,
no, I guess it's fine. Yeah, play top deck Silk Merchant, play the other two as Mule, play the amulet, and the paddock normally both.
I am like, this is okay. So we muled a paddock. I do not understand, and then we bought a gold. I do not understand.
I don't either.
What is happening? Taamas, you did so well.
Yeah, I'm very confused. We weren't willing to spend a coffer to demand again. I mean, at this point, demanding the Silk Merchant isn't that impressive, but you still get the horse.
So confused.
I still think this is all winning for Taamas.
Yeah.
What Gary's doing does not make a lot of sense, but
okay, that's our second paddock.
alright, top deck Silk Merchant. Play Silk Merchant as Mule. Amulet Trash, Blockade Silk Merchant. Oh, stop attacking the amulet. You need to play it. You need to treasure covers.
Ooh, hello, paddock.
Okay, I guess if this is your plan, then that's alright.
Mule Merchant.
I assume it was not fully villager efficient, but maybe it's fine.
This is fine. It's fine. It's fine. We're fine. Okay. So.
Alright, it's time to start thinking about Tragic Hero.
Yeah.
No silver! No, silver's so bad! No! Oh. You got trash copper.
Okay.
Like I was thinking paddock Tragic Hero, but yeah, once they did that, I started thinking, oh, they're probably gonna play Province.
Taamas. What do you take here?
Seems like one player has way more tokens. Well spotted.
Very perceptive. Two more paddocks.
The thing with getting more paddocks at this point, though, is like they're not actually going to draw within the shuffle that you first see them, and Gary doesn't have any villagers, so can't play like other draw. It's pretty awkward. I mean, you do want the paddocks, to be clear, but it's just like ideally you have some villagers left and you have some silk merchants and you get like some tragic heroes and you can like draw the paddocks that way, and then like as you run out of villagers, you got more horses in your deck and you don't need to play as many of the terminal draw cards. But
should Gary resign?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like whether or not to resign is a very, like, it depends in large part on, like, the knowledge that you as a player have, and so, like, nobody else can, like, really tell you whether you should resign or not.
Okay.
Like, because, you know, you might see something that other people don't see, or other people might see something that you don't see, like...
No, that's true. That's true.
I can talk about whether I would resign, but it's a little bit of a weird question to try to answer because my deck wouldn't look like this.
Well, if you were in Gary's position with...
Yeah, I kind of agree with Nave that Gary has a chance here because I think Taamas like pivoted away from the good deck that they were building. Maybe not enough to be a problem, but we'll see.
I mean, Taamas is not going to miss Province.
No, not right now, no. They are going to run out of villagers soon.
True enough.
They haven't put paddocks into their deck, so they don't have...
I think they have one.
Yeah, they don't have much draw that they can actually use.
Mule, 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 mule.
I mean, they can trash silk merchants to get more
Oh, they
villagers.
should definitely mule a silk merchant and trash most. Yeah.
Sure. But they're still... Well, they do have 2 paddocks. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe they're just 1. Because this turn they get 4 horses into their deck and they can buy a province without spending into their coffer reserve. And they still have a villager that they can use to play a silk merchant terminally to get like a plus buy turn as well.
So many horses.
I guess Gary's probably supposed to do double duchy here. Pretty sad, but... I guess one thing I didn't particularly consider is that the way to double activate paddocks is just to empty the paddocks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think even... I don't think that was ever likely to be a realistic path, though. Just too much time.
How would they double?
But who double? Taamas can certainly double if they find
plus buy.
You know, they have a silk merchant in hand right here. Gary,
what's going on?
Fireworks going off. Classic September the 20th fireworks.
Mm-hmm. I'm here. I'm right here.
Experiencing this classic September the 20th fireworks.
Yeah. Very traditional US fireworks.
Yeah, that's right.
What happened? We bought provinces.
Okay. You almost certainly win here if you mule draw with silk merchant. Oh, you had to top deck a province. Right. Okay, never mind. You probably actually don't then. But whatever, buy 1 province, it doesn't matter. Oh,
wow.
Or you do anyway. Sure.
Amazing. Okay. Yes.
Wait, they didn't even need the copper. Did I miscount? Did they already have it in hand?
No, they didn't.
They drew the...
Oh, you're right.
I must have miscounted.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
we will be going to at least a 5th game.
We will. Sure will. Okay, so it's 2-1. Well, like what Taamas said.
Yeah. Yep, blockage silk merchant. Yeah, the blockade opening was definitely the way to go. I said I wouldn't blame anybody for opening silk merchant, but I do think blockade was like fairly clearly better. It's just, opening silk merchant is usually a good idea, so you can't.
Sounds to me like you're blaming someone.
Who am I blaming?
Whoever opened silk merchant.
Okay. Well, it's more like it's the difference between like this is the correct thing and you didn't do the correct thing versus the thing that you did was a bad idea. So, I mean, yeah, that's I guess that's more or less what I'm saying.
Okay. So, ooh, inherited flagship is nice. So does that guarantee like a 5 opening?
God.
Probably
I think
not.
DZ is right. Step 1, buy Berserker turn 1, step 2, win. Like, yeah, that's terrifying. I don't see. What does live later? Does that mean they stay up later?
Yes.
Okay.
They just live later, and like,
you don't even need. You can even do it if you see your flagship on turn 1, you are guaranteed to be able to buy Berserker because of borrow.
Borrow. That's true.
Whoa!
Oh wow, yeah.
King's Court Throne Room
and
Crown.
Oh.
And Counterfeit.
Oh. And Scepter.
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
And then ironically, we've got Flagship, which is kind of like a throne.
It is. It's too new. Okay. Hit that start button, please. Get your flagships.
Get your flagships.
Everyone get a flagship.
Okay, so what else do we think about this board other than open Berserker and win?
Ooh, I miss Berserk. Well, there's no plus buy. Oh, well, there's very limited plus buy. Were you laughing at me?
Maybe a little.
Why?
There is very limited plus buy, that's true.
But there are gains
in
the form of Upgrade and Artificer and Berserker and maybe Tracker. Did you laugh at me? So rude.
No.
Oh, because of the pouch. Oh, because I'm blind. You were laughing at me.
No, I was laughing because of the way you said it. I assumed you were accounting for the pouch. It's
I
pouch is limited plus buy.
I just, can't read. I'm sure you can relate.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so is Taamas going for the Berserker? Whee!
Yep. Fortunately for Gary, they can still borrow to gain Berserker, so
but
it's
will they think of that?
Yeah.
Well, okay. I would have completely
not taking fisherman with what?
Well, Taamas. Taamas under turn 1.
Oh yeah, they could have taken. Yeah, that's true. I don't hate taking Harbor Village over that though. When you have
2 terminals,
3 terminals, 3 flagship, Berserker, and Priest.
What? That was turn 1.
They gained the Harbor Village and then they gained a Priest.
Okay.
Oh, they had the flagship in play, right? So they got another. Right. Yeah. Right. That's why they got 2 cards. Right. Okay. Anyway, yes, I think caning a Harbor Village is very reasonable. It looks like both players have basically done the same thing, except that Gary, because they didn't see that until turn 2, has also got another flagship.
Gary couldn't Berserker turn 1.
Right. Right. My point is that they have a very if Taamas borrows for flagship here, which I don't know that they should, but if they did, that would mean they had identical decks going into turn 3. What would I actually take here? Possibly another Harbor Village, but possibly nothing. Do I want to borrow? I don't want a silver.
You could buy a curse.
No.
Or an estate.
No.
Yes.
No, that's not allowed. Any love for Tracker? No. No. I do not want Tracker here. I do not want to spend terminal space on Tracker. Maybe later. Maybe. But
Double Berserker.
I don't know.
Boom, baby. Maybe you could take a Fisherman.
Yeah, I would. I'd go Fisherman Harbor
flagship?
Village. No, I'd take another Harbor Village. And then I'd take an upgrade? Probably an upgrade.
How about
maybe
Fisherman,
Witch's Hut?
Harbor Village, buy another Berserker, get another Harbor.
Nah, you don't. Oh, I want the upgrade. Or Witch's Hut. Witch's Hut is also pretty good. I don't know that I agree that losing the pouch would be that big of a deal.
So isn't it a little difficult to hit it?
Yes, it's very difficult. It's unlikely, and nobody's going to try. But, like, I also just think that, you know, part of what you're doing here is you draw cards, and then you can, like, gain stuff with Artificer. So the plus buy is not, like, as critical. Although the draw is going to be a little rough with Berserker. So maybe Artificer, yeah, I don't know, maybe that's dreaming too big.
Are you gonna double Priest as Gary, or I guess it depends on what you draw, or just Priest flagship?
Yeah, I would. I mean, you draw, yeah, you see what you draw, but I would anticipate wanting to play Priest twice, especially when you play Priest twice, you proc the Priest ability on the second thing, and you have the pouch in hand, so you get more money. It's just sad if you, it's actually sad if you draw a like one of your actions. But you didn't.
Whee! Pow, 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 pow. Wow.
It is too bad that there were no estates there, but it should be fine.
Upgrade. Ooh.
Berserker to get the attack that you otherwise wouldn't get to do is quite reasonable here, I think. Although the opponent did borrow, so that makes it less worthwhile.
We seem very reluctant to upgrade.
Yeah. I mean, you might be able to get there with just Priest, but I don't know. There's some synergy between Priest and Upgrade, though it's not going to be easy to pull off. But also just like getting stuff with Berserker and then upgrading it into better cards is like a somewhat reasonable thing to do, and Traction Coppers is pretty nice. No, I think you do want to... Oh, wait, I'm looking at the wrong player. Okay.
Surely you don't want to play Witch's Hut here.
Probably not, no. I think I would play Flagship and borrow.
Oh, sadness!
Ooh.
No! Oh. Upgrade?
Is that Gary's third Berserker?
Yes.
That seems a little much to me.
Well, it's really a good way to melt piles.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely could work out. I just...
Ooh, wow!
Want to get some draw.
Oh, I was thinking for some reason that Flagship wasn't played. You gonna trash your only Berserker? Did not see that coming, but no.
Just take the last two Harbor Villages. It's pretty valuable to be able to like have plus actions.
I mean, with Flagship, you can have...
Yeah, but you have to... Without a village, like a regular village, you have to like play it end turn, and then you start the next turn and you get the effect. But then if you want to play another Flagship, you're using that effect. So it doesn't really like accumulate unless you play multiple turns where you just play Flagship. Villages are good.
Okay, yes. I was unaware of that.
Yeah, right. It's not something that's commonly understood in the Dominion community.
No.
Let us all just be thankful that this board doesn't have highway.
Thank you, Steph. What to do?
I kind of want to
borrow for something.
I do kind of want to, in general, keep borrowing just because, like, I figure I'm going to get Berserker attacked anyway. At least as Taamas. I mean, since Gary has 3 Berserkers.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all yours.
You got to play your treasures first. Yeah. Classic.
That would have been me.
Don't. There is such a thing as too many flagships here.
I don't believe you. Flagship is so nice. And the illustration is very pretty. You want to look at that constantly. How does this end?
Looks like piles. I'm not sure what the 3rd pile would be, though. They're doing an excellent job of not being in a position to get fishermen.
Are we tempted to gain another Berserker?
Oh, there's just a little stuff left for the Berserker to gain.
Oh, that's 2 flagships. Not another pile.
Yeah. I want, I don't know, Artificer or Upgrade or maybe another Witch's Hut. I don't know if they have the terminal space for that.
Who has 2 Witch's Huts?
I think Gary. Yeah. Well, they do have a flagship in play, though.
You mean just double play priest?
Actually, yeah. Wait, why don't you want fishermen? I mean, I guess you want to borrow for a 5. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Yeah, I think I would go ahead and double play priest. Just like it's so hard to draw here. I don't want to have the junk in my deck. But please don't buy Berserker. No. Okay, I mean, if you're gonna do this, I feel like you got to get an upgrade into your deck so you can like turn them into golds or something. Like, because you're gonna have too many Berserkers.
Gold.
I guess you can just priest them too. That's not terrible. I think it's Gary that has the 2nd priest, so Berserker for silver. Oh no. Like, I understand it, but it's so sad.
Flagship tracker? I'm not keeping track of the boons.
Yeah, me neither. I think I might rather, yeah, just play the flagship after the tracker and have it for next turn.
Buy a Berserker?
Oh, gosh. But it's gonna be the third pile. No! No! Gold. I would definitely rather have upgrade than buy a gold.
I don't think any of the players believe in upgrade here.
It's
just a feeling.
It does seem to be the case. But I'd also probably rather have Artificer. Probably?
It's gonna happen.
That's not as clear.
It's happening. Flagship.
What's happening?
No, Berserker.
Oh yeah, but at least we actually had the Berserker in hand this time.
Do you want to guess what?
Why flagship the Berserker though? Sorry, I just.
That's okay.
I just like. What's the second card that you want to gain? Just play the Berserker first, and then play the flagship.
The flagship. Yes.
I mean, it's probably the best thing you can gain, but do you really want another flagship at this point?
Yes, and the other one too. Nom nom.
Oh my gosh.
You want to guess what the German translation is for priest? Ooh. A duchy.
I have no idea.
Want to guess what the German translation is for bandit?
Is it bandit?
Well, it's a woman, so.
Banditerin?
Well, that's too long ago. Banditen.
Banditen.
Mm-hmm. And priest is priester.
Priester. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Well, look at that.
Wow!
We could buy a province.
And the flagship. Amazing.
I don't think you're going to do much better than buying a province here. I would do it.
Yes. Yes. Go, go, go. Would you buy province duchy?
No, I don't think so. But I might borrow for a different 5.
For an upgrade?
Well, yeah.
Ooh!
Oh, okay.
I was joking, Taamas.
I mean, the good news is now that the opponent's berserkers are even worse.
What do you mean? They can berserk for estates.
That's true.
It's so good.
It's pretty good. Oh, they chose not to play berserker here.
Oh, because they couldn't.
Why couldn't they? They could just not play flagship.
Yeah, see? So, do we borrow for duchy?
Don't think so. The opponent only has 1 berserker. I mean, they could buy berserker, but like borrowing from Gary's position doesn't look as good to me, and duchy isn't really going to get the job done, I don't think. There's 7 provinces left. If this isn't ending on piles, and it's not like the third pile will not go down the same way that the first 2 did. So
Trackers go.
I know, I approve of that.
You do?
Yeah, I mean, they don't have that much terminal space to play with. Copper's better in their deck than Tracker.
Do you discard Harbor Village Berserker?
I didn't see quickly enough, but no, probably not. I want my Harbor Villages. It's amazing how much better this turn is than
Berserkers.
Yeah, that, yes.
Well,
because they have 2 more berserkers coming up.
Can't you? Is there
Maybe you
worlds
discard.
in which you pile estates and buy? What do you need? Okay, never mind. Why would you? You have these many flagships. Surely you could have piled estates by province or duchy.
I don't think that's clear. I mean, they had to use the flagships for draw for one thing.
That's so many flagships.
So many berserkers. They should have kept the priest.
Yeah, they should. They really should.
It would have been really nice to flagship priest here.
Oh, is this gonna end on curse?
I wouldn't think so. The cursing student can. Well, okay, not it could end on curses, but I don't think it'll end on curses soon, unless Gary takes several curses here, which I would not recommend. It's just the cursing is pretty inconsistent. Yeah, this is the first like big turn that we've seen. They actually got their draw to line up. Saw most of their villages. Kicked off with a flagship in play.
What do we think they are going to get? Double province?
Wow, that's a lot of priests. Are we just gonna like empty the priest pile? Is that the plan?
Yes. Well, we're gonna double province.
Yeah.
That still seems super risky.
It's not just that it's risky, it's also it made their deck a lot worse. Right? Like, I mean, priest is a good card, but like if you wanted to draw like that again, adding 3 priests to your deck is not helping you. I think you just play 1 berserker there and don't even play the other 2. Like just to attack. Also, you keep the other priest in hand so that you can trash, but
that's unfortunate. What does Gary do?
the flagship. By duchy, probably.
By duchy. By berserker. Game priest.
No.
Ooh.
Well, there's a chance.
That was pretty close.
I think I play. You do want to attack here, but getting 2 flagships into play could be really good. What?
Someone's very confident.
And now you have to borrow for duchy? I don't understand taking the priest there. Your opponent has so many more berserkers. If they do manage to have a big turn, like that's going to be their win condition. Like, there's no way lowering priest is a good idea for you. Okay. Can't flagship in front of Witch's Hut, unfortunately. Do not worry about giving curse right now. Just discard province curse. You will giving curse is part of the win condition potentially, but it's too early in the turn for it.
Don't think about this. Harbor Village. Okay.
Now, You didn't want a flagship though? Which is that? 2 priests. Okay, so yeah, that's part of the win condition, and then if you can get 3 priests in by province, you win.
Which, like, draw another flagship and that's it. You got this.
Potentially, yeah. That's one way to do it.
No.
I would.
What?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
No, I think this is.
Yeah, this is it. This is game. Okay. Wow. Wow! 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 Do not worry about the.
Oh, the question is, do they see it?
No, I don't think.
What? Ah! No, you can't. You can't ask for that.
You
cannot.
No. We don't. We don't.
Deny. Deny. Oh, no, that's not okay.
Taamas, you're too nice.
It's not okay.
That was not good.
Oh, now we can end it on the states, though.
Oh, that was not okay.
No, we can't. We don't have any actions. Never mind.
That was not okay.
Or can we?
We don't have to. Just go with...
I mean, there's no reason to, but...
Yeah, just go with the thing that's...
Stop it!
Gary!
What is this?
Gary, no! Gary, you've played long enough in League to know that that's not a thing we do. Gary.
This is... Yeah, this is not okay. Deny. I mean, you have the win in hand.
Yes.
Like, it's just...
Ugh. Should I?
Just Berserker the priests and by province. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter. You have the win, and yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try to figure it out though. So you play the harbor village.
What is there to figure out?
You flagship the harbor village, and then you flagship 2 berserkers, and you play another berserker. Oh, you had to discard 2 cards. Never mind. Okay, right. You don't have the pouch anymore. All right, it's not gonna work.
You don't need the pouch
to empty estates.
Oh, you want to do estates? Fine.
I wanna.
Well.
Yeah, it was. I mean, yeah. If you have to discard a berserker or flagship, I guess you did. Whatever.
Yeah. Come on, you can do it. After this very dubious undo.
Yeah, which didn't matter.
Kind of makes it worse.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Is it still there yet? Come on.
Well, now it's...
Oh, that's...
discard attack.
Yeah. Well...
So it worked out for them to lower the priests, but I still don't think it was good.
Okay, so it's match point for Gary. If they tie or win the next game, they will win the G Championship.
That's right.
Season 59. It's so exciting.
Taamas will need to rally in a big way to be able to take this.
Okay. Oh, I haven't seen Bast in a while.
Yeah, I don't agree with the mentality behind that. Like you can see a better play, but if it involves like undoing draw and stuff like that, it's just like, no, you just gotta eat it.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. Okay. So we can trash with modify. We have the magpie. We draw with crew, and there's a village, and there's Quartermasster. Quartermasster can gain us a couple of cards. There's no plus buy except plus gains from modify and Quartermasster. So I guess if I have 5-2, I would open modify. If I have 3-4, I would open magpie and press. Nah. You.
Yeah, magpie enchantress maybe, magpie cargo ship maybe. I don't agree with DZ to skip modify, but I might
DZ.
Sure. I might not open it on a 5-2. I might just go with Quartermasster. Quartermasster is mostly a super monument here, I think. Like, depending on how early you get it, maybe you use it to gain some magpies, but probably you just shove a bunch of tunnels onto it. Which is like a sad thing for it to be doing, but I think it's like it's like, yeah, it's just like taking baths points, except you can gain cards.
Can I draw your attention to the cute little pig? It's so cute! Ah! Okay, please continue.
Magpies, tunnels, and border villages are going to empty so fast. Well, that's contingent upon people hitting 6, which, you know, shouldn't be that hard, but...
Well, how do we hit 6 here? Does that mean we take cargo ship instead of enchantress?
I'm not sure. It might even depend on whether you're player 1 or player 2.
Someone needs to click on that start game button. And
yes.
by someone, I mean Taamas. Taamas, I'm looking at you.
Not literally.
I mean, I am looking at their representation in the game.
True. I don't know. Enchantress attack... If you manage to enchant their magpie so that they can't like duplicate their magpies, that could potentially be quite strong. Cargo ship, like if you could like cargo ship your a Quartermasser or a modify or something, that could also be quite strong. So I don't have that strong of a thought about which one I would go with between the two.
What? Ooh.
Yeah, I would definitely
we had
not
6. Amazing.
take cut first. So
border village, Quartermasster.
And silver, no, I hate this opening, to be honest. Well, it wasn't a very fast silver if you consider how long it took for them to hit the start game button, but
Enchantress. Please, I want to see the pig. Please. Go, 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 go. Enchantress, go. Enchantress. Breaking my heart.
These silvers are...
Yes, but it's better if I can just see it when I'm spectating a match. Yes.
Okay, so Taamas finally gets a magpie. We're getting a second Quartermasster. I don't know about that.
More Quartermasster. Better.
I mean, all else being equal, that is true, but... You don't... There's not so many sub 5 cost cards that you want to put into your deck with, or even not into your deck, as the case may be with Quartermasster. But if this is the way they go, maybe it'll empty on estates instead of
Gary, my villages. Hero. Oh, they're both heroes. Wait, what? Awesome. Never mind. I totally see what's going on here.
You think they're going to leave the enchantresses forever on the underneath the Quartermasster?
No. I was like, why didn't they play the border village? But of course. I know this game so well.
Okay, so now Taamas takes some modify. Interesting. If you're gonna have 2 Quartermasters in play, I wonder if you are supposed to take Beth's points. Wait, who took silver with Quartermaster?
Gary.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh wait, you can't take Beth's points because of Quartermaster, never mind. We're buying silver? I'm so confused.
Oh, right. So Taamas already has 2 villages. And they played their enchantress, but Gary does not have any cards.
Well, they could choose to pick one up, but probably they shouldn't.
Sadness.
Why is with the silvers? No! Oh, just take the tunnels!
Border village. At what point do you take a crew? Could this be a point where you take a crew? No.
Wow,
we're going full in with a Quartermasster.
So confused.
They're gonna melt piles.
Well, not if they like are actually using it to like gain a card and then pick the card up, you know? Especially if it's silver.
True.
Imagine picking up cards. I mean, on this board, yeah, I kind of agree. I'm trying to think, like, would I expect to ever take silver on this board? Pretty sure I wouldn't.
Take a crew now. Take
Is there
the crew. Take
I guess there's no way to discard tunnel, right? I was just thinking about like when do I, in what context do I add treasures on this board? And I was like, well, maybe with a combination of tunnel and way of the camel, but no, I don't think so.
Crew, take the crew.
Like there's no, as you noted, there's no plus buy, so you don't need very much money in your deck. Yeah, I don't think there is. Way to activate tunnel.
Yeah, I think that's correct. We're gonna see some pigs.
Piggy pig, piggy pig, piggy pig.
Yes.
Wow. Oh my gosh,
I was gonna say 3 Quartermasters is a little.
I don't know what to say about it. It's so...
Look at the pig.
It's not free VP if you never take.
Look at them, they're tunnel, so though. Cute. So cute. Did you play Magpie? The piggy pig?
No, I agree with that decision because you don't have plus actions in hand.
I have like a bazillion border.
No, they only barely drew one, so.
More pigs, more pigs.
It's not silver, please.
I can feel it.
So ultimately, having a million Quartermasters in play should be good if your opponent isn't building a deck that's going to do better things. And so far, that doesn't look like Taamas is. Well, they do have the 2 modifies, I guess.
They have 2 modifies?
I think so. I think they have both of the modifies.
Hmm. Really, that's portable.
Well, they're still deciding what to do with their Quartermasters.
Oh.
Arms were made for tunneling. That's just what they'll do.
One of these days, these arms are gonna tunnel all over you.
Tunnel right through you, more like. Sounds extremely painful.
Are you ready, arms? Start tunneling.
Oh, hey, here we go. Here we go.
A tunnel.
Well, okay. We compromised.
Baby steps. Another Quartermaster. Oh, look at this crew. Crew. Ooh.
Oh, magpie duplication. Let's go.
One more.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
yeah, that's true. They have. Yeah.
It's a little slower than a Grim Rush, I would say. Whoa, what?
What are we doing?
No. We could have just bought Province. Like, we don't need golds in our deck. I mean, I guess if you want to modify them into Province, but... you can, like, modify something into the gold. You don't need to buy gold, which I feel like is what's coming.
Well, I guess
Oh,
like,
no.
isn't this still, it's probably like still faster for Gary with all those Quartermasters.
I mean, they gotta get them in play. They've only got... I guess they've got 3 in play.
And they have another one somewhere in their
I think
deck.
they have 2 more.
They have 2 more? Oh.
I think.
Why doesn't that surprise me?
I guess the thing is, like, once the tunnels run, I mean, they can start working on estates, but they're not doing it quickly.
Oh, there's gonna be another Quartermaster.
It really should not be. Oh, okay. I wonder if at this point, Taamas is meant not to touch the tunnels.
And take what? Estate?
Well, no. If you're gonna take estate, you might as well take tunnel. But yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe it doesn't matter.
Double province.
Yeah. Although they don't get to play Enchantress if they do that. Whoa. Okay. I mean, I do actually like that move in like the abstract, but I just wonder if that's lowering piles too much. I mean, I guess if Gary doesn't shift to like just pile driving like the tunnels and then the estates, then it's fine for Taamas, and I would expect him to win. Gary needs to stop taking silvers. Picking up whatever.
Well, both, right? They have the, like, they pick one up, they take one, take a tunnel.
Yeah.
He said.
Okay. It looks like they're pivoting here. Okay.
All right. Can we actually win this turn?
They
only have one modifier, right?
Yeah, so
well, it's close.
I wouldn't.
It's like one gain.
You can't get
one gain short.
They can't get 3 border villages.
Yeah, but they can get 2. So, but they chose not to. This is pretty close. Maybe.
Okay. So now we get to see whether the slow rush can beat the slow build towards provincing.
I mean, ideally, we want to double province, yeah? A solution. Yes, we can. We absolutely can.
Yeah, I think so.
I
don't like playing both of those border villages, at least not before the Magpie, because maybe you want to modify border village into province rather than gold. I mean, it probably doesn't matter. Why would you?
Well, was a win here for Taamas?
You didn't have a gold before to get the province with.
Isn't this a win? No, it's not. It's so close.
Wait, is it not?
No.
It's
not enough points.
Isn't it?
No.
2 tunnels and a duchy? Yeah, that's enough.
Ooh.
Modify gold to border village,
yes.
and then buy border village and you gain tunnel duchy.
Yes. Okay, Taamas, it's there. Go get it.
Yeah.
Go get it. You can get it. We believe in you.
Slush in the chance.
Well,
no.
Well,
it's not over. No, it's not over.
Sorry, it's not over. Well, I guess if you double province, it's still like significantly more difficult for the slash. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I would. Oh, what?
What's going on?
You need to get
Taamas.
You need to take the lead. Like, I mean, you probably don't lose. Well, you definitely don't lose this turn, but it's pretty close. I'm so confused. Like, I understand missing the win. Like, that's fine, but you got to take that other province. Oh, they do have the lead, sorry, but I mean, they won't have the lead once Gary gets 2 more tunnels.
What else does Gary have on the side?
Gary's actually only 1 gain short of piling out this turn. If they had 1 more Quartermaster, then they could have gained 2 tunnels, 4 enchantresses, and bought an enchantress. As it is, no. Why would you? Oh, can they buy province? Okay, yeah. Guess it's probably fine. I mean, they can pile the estates next turn, yes. So Taamas has to win here, and it's a lot harder to win now than it was last turn.
Yeah.
Way harder.
It's not even possible, is it?
Probably not.
No, they can't.
Triple Duchy only gets to 27, so and they only have the 2 modifiers.
Well, Taamas, you had it last turn.
Yeah.
This would have been yours.
I mean. And double province doesn't give them enough points.
No.
Triple province.
They cannot.
Why not?
I mean, okay, they can. Yeah, they can.
Triple province is potentially enough. Why would triple?
Why wouldn't it be enough?
I mean, it depends on whether Gary can also buy a duchy, which is not guaranteed right now. I mean, it's still what you do, right? Okay, like you take the triple province if you can. It's not looking good though.
No, they can't.
Well, they can if they have. Oh no, they already have an estate top decked. Yeah, okay. If they could have otherwise.
Yeah. Wow. Well, this was very close.
Yeah, I mean, this is like if they'd taken the province last turn, like they had more gold in hand than they needed, right? They take the province last turn, and now they have the extra province this turn.
Gary's gonna play this one out. Gary's not gonna stop. I can feel it.
Rest in paparazzi? That's rather rude. Okay, well, Gary made it to Duchy anyway. So wow. 1 more province wouldn't have been enough.
Congratulations to GaryOfPgh2, our League Season 59 G tier champion.
Indeed. With a 4-1 victory, pretty convincing. Victory for the G Championship.
Good luck to both players in F tier next season if they choose to play.
And why wouldn't they?
Thank you for commentating with me.
You are most welcome. And thank you for commentating with me.
Of course.
All right. Well, that'll do it for us, I think. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. And we will catch you on the flip side.
The game has ended.
Bye!